In the world of professional golf, there's been a great deal of talk lately about what is the next move for Jon Rahm. Well, now, according to a Thursday report from the Wall Street Journal, Rahm is expected to leave the PGA Tour for LIV Golf this week. Now, previous reports on Rahm's defection have noted the deal would pay the reigning Masters champ somewhere in the range of $600 million. So, it's time for some golf talk. We are going to do it with the sports columnist for the New York Post and golf guru, my guy, Mark Cannizzaro, who joins me now. Mark, thanks for taking out some time to talk to me. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Dex. Thank you.
Glad you are doing well. Mark, the first thing for me is I think when people see the report that is out there about Rahm defecting, they're wondering how is he leaving the PGA for LIV when the two golf leagues were reported to merge just 6 months ago. Can you make it make sense for us? Can you break it down?
I'm not sure I can make it make sense because it's still things are very much up in the air with this. It's not really a merger that that's kind of it's a framework agreement. Those are the buzzwords that the PGA Tour and LIV used back in June when they sat down and made that, very, very surprising announcement. This is a fascinating dynamic because I think the PGA Tour has been hoping to kind of outlast and outlive LIV, so to speak, and we've come to realize that LIV's not going anywhere right now. They have obviously the Saudi, venture has endless amounts of money, and they don't care that they're losing a lot of money. They've paid a bunch of guys like Phil Mickelson and Dustin Johnson and Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau hundreds of millions of dollars. So this thing with Rahm, to me, is just I think it's backbreaking for the PGA Tour, to be honest with you, because you've had some of these top names, including Cam Smith, the Australian, who was number 2 in the world when he went to LIV. Now Rahm is number 3 in the world. He's one of the faces of the PGA Tour. He's also been one of the very, public supporters of the PGA Tour. Making this move, this is a damning blow for the PGA Tour, and I don't really know. I don't have an answer. I don't think anybody does have an answer as to what this means going forward. But all it does, in my eyes, is it strengthens LIV. And, this framework agreement deadline is December 31st. There's been a lot of people who think that that's going to be extended. And we've also got a lot of, there's a handful of big-time financial backers and investors wanting to be a part of this that the PGA Tour has been considering and speaking with, which be investing in the PGA Tour along with LIV. So there's a lot of answers still, a lot of questions, I should say, still to be answered. But to me, the headline to this Rahm news is the fact that, this just strengthens LIV more than it's ever been strengthened, because they already had poached the PGA Tour from some of its best and most interesting players. And now they've got a guy who's at the top of his game.
Yeah, they got a guy at the top of his game, and I think the thing for people, they're going to say, okay, Rahm secured the bag here with this reported deal, getting $600 million. You told me, you're not really sure what it means for the sport right now, but when you look at Rahm and getting this deal, reported deal, does he become the face of LIV Golf or, face of golf, period, when you look at it right now with this deal and moving forward?
I think he very much does become one of the leading faces of LIV Golf, just because he automatically becomes the best player on that tour, so to speak. And we're talking about a tour that has Brooks Koepka, who won the PGA Championship last year and was runner-up at the Masters. And then Cam Smith, who left the tour number 2 in the world. Dustin Johnson, who's still a guy that can win majors. But yeah, I mean, this guy has been one of the faces of the PGA Tour, and he's also been, as I said, one of the most public supportive of the PGA Tour. And it's interesting, Dexter. I believe it was at the U.S. Open when we spoke to Rahm. He's always been very adamant about how he doesn't play this game for the money. So I'm very curious to see what he has to say when he does speak publicly, because why else would you be making this move but for the money? And I don't think anybody on the planet can criticize him so badly if he's getting $500 or $600 million, right? But the weird thing to me always about LIV has been the guys that are jumping to LIV are already multi-million, tens of millions of millionaires, right? So it's not like these guys are making this move to change their lives forever. They were already comfortable for the rest of their lives. So this is just the rich getting richer, and that's what LIV has always been about, in my opinion. So I'm curious to see if you look back at some of the quotes that John has delivered to us. He's been adamant about how he plays this game for the trophies and for winning major championships and not for the money. And he'll have certainly, you know, he's going to have to answer to why he's moving to LIV. And if he says it's anything other than the money, then I would have to think that'd be disingenuous.
Yeah, and that was funny. I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to follow up with you on that and ask you about his comments that he had made before. In agreement, it's hard to see that it's not for the money here. He got the bag with $600 million reportedly moving from the PGA to LIV. We'll see how all this plays out. That is Mark Cannizzaro, great sports columnist for the New York Post, doing great work as always. Mark, thank you for the insight. Appreciate it. We will talk soon.
Thanks for having me on, Dex. Talk to you soon.